Okay, so which one tasted better?
Steve.
Yeah, the guy.
With Lisa, I only tasted peanut butter and chocolate.
Lisa had just eaten a peanut butter cup.
But with Steve, I tasted something more. It was peanut butter and Snickers.
Peanut butter
You're
and
right.
Snickers.
Yeah, that's
Steve had just eaten Snickers peanut butter squared.
Steve was delicious.
Yeah. I'd love another taste.
Oh, certainly.
Eat both squares, please.
If you like peanut butter and chocolate, you'll love peanut butter and Snickers. Try new Snickers peanut butter squared.
Hello, my name is Jesse Flores, Junior Technical Director at Framestore New York. And here we're going to show you a little spot that we did recently. Framestore, usually the type of work that we do is kind of character over live action. So right away, I already have to look into making this character look kind of photoreal, make sure ahead of time I have to make sure that I have all the assets ready in terms of references and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you real quick some of the concept art we did. In-house concept artist did this to show the client just kind of like how to integrate the shark into this kind of boardroom meeting that they're doing. It's a focus group. Yeah. I'm going to show you some of the references I use. So early on, I already knew like all the types of details I had to get into with the shark. I had to make sure that like these little details of like little dots and then like all the stains on the gums and things like that. One thing I found very similar on most sharks is they have all these strange rough patterns everywhere. So usually I would make all these brushes ready in Photoshop to get all this kind of detail in there right away. I jumped on the spot probably like a week in already. So there was another texture artist that actually started before me. So I was able to just pick up her base layer that she did. She only did one for all the sharks. So at the time, they were still kind of messing around with developing the other sharks and making them different shapes and stuff. But I tried to take on Mari for this project. Tried to create a pipeline for it. I was the only texture artist on it, and see what kind I could do with it. So here we have the shark model and the texture. And also introducing this new software into the pipeline, I had to make sure that it would integrate it very well and didn't disrupt anything down the pipeline. So keeping everything linear was very good. I was able to, the colors were respected all the way from texture to Maya to Nuke, and so everything was great. So I'll show you some of the features that I liked about Mari, and I was able to just keep going. My work just went really fast, and I really loved it, and I pretty much now everyone at Framestore uses Mari. One of the things that I really liked about Mari that a lot of software, 3D software 3D painting packages don't have is a nice brush editor. Which is very simple, but it goes a long way. And Mari comes with some of these built-in brushes already. They're incredible for creating such detail. And it's a really nice feature. You can actually just preview them right down here beforehand. So you go into your properties, you can start adjusting some settings really fast on the fly. There you go. And then I was able to quickly just go into my model and just create some of this noise just literally out of just these brushes, simple brushes, and I could just go in there and start painting them. And this whole shark was hand painted. It was really like barely any photos used for this. And a lot of great tools that I really liked about Mari was able to just like, if I were to paint like certain detail here and I wanted to just make sure to skew it in a little bit, I could go in and use Mari's warp tools here, subdivide it, and just able to just adjust accordingly where do I want it. It's a great feature, and it's great for projections, and though I didn't use many projections here, which now the projects that I work on, I use this all the time. Also, like if let's say you're projecting something and then it's not landing very good, you can always just go to your UV layout here and just paint on it right here as well. See, that's one thing I notice other packages don't have, is to be able to just paint on the UVs or just go back and just paint directly on the model. So having that access to just basically do what I want and just get that paint in there, make it look really nice, get in that detail was absolutely incredible. One great thing also is I was able to preview my spec maps right away in Mari using these shaders that they have down here. So if I were to turn that off, that's how it comes in. Turn on my spec. I can be able to just go in there, select the channel that I want to paint on, spec, unlock it, and just start concentrating on areas that they don't want spec on. I can just remove it. You can barely see it there, or we can just go the opposite. Start painting heavy. There you go, bake it down. And there you go. Simple as that. Keep going, make sure that the shark looks great. Also, when I was starting this project, I only had one shark at the time, like I mentioned before, that they were still trying to, make all these sharks look different. So if you go into your objects menu here, you'd be able to just go, turn that off, go to the next shark, turn that on. So I had all my sharks in here, and I could quickly just, what I did is I just duplicated the one I already had, the base mesh, and I just kind of brought them all in there and then just did variations on each shark accordingly. One great thing about Mari is that I was able to bring in this thing called versions, and so I had a new model that was tweaked, but like it was the same UV layout, so all I did was just bring it in. I can literally just jump back and forth to it. It flips, we had a little orientation issue, but more or less everything, as you can see, all the shaders and all the textures I had already started on just get transferred over quickly. You keep moving on and you have them all here, so you can quickly just take a look at what was adjusted and things like that. Also, I didn't do this, but some other texture artists like coming into Mari, just fixing out the seams, using their tools, and then you can just go into your channels and just export them out one by one. You could just bring it back into Photoshop and just put it over it, and everything works fine. Another detail that I did here was for the compositors. There was an issue with an occlusion happening between the gums and the mouth of the shark. So one great feature that Mari has that was great for the compositors when I was trying to make mats for them is able to paint across multiple OBJs, and that paint lands respectively on their UVs, and I can just export those out and give it to the look developer, and then he can just make a new pass, render it out. So I'll show you real quick what I mean by that. So then I'll make a new mask here, TID. 4K is fine. Oh, by the way, all these textures were 4K, so should have mentioned that before. Make this black on there. Go to my shaders, and I'll turn this guy off. And I'll put the new map, so it's all black. Now I'll go back to my flat shading. I'll turn on my wireframe just so I can see. Go in there, just change the color of the wireframe so we can check it out. There you go. Go into my gums, lower gum, channels. I'll make a new, same thing, black. It's going to basically make a RGB map. Bring it in there. Go into the shader for the gum and change that to the new TID. There you go. And then select my color. There you go. Pure red. And I can start painting across. And I easily was able to make a map like that. Bake it down. And there you go. Go into my UVs. So let me select my objects. Lower gum. There it is. Landing there. And go back into my shark. And there it is. So everything, I don't have to even worry about any like seams or anything like that, and save it out. Let me go back into my 3D scene. And also you can see, I was able to just paint on that and also see where the teeth were. And as you can see, nothing landed on the teeth. Now I was able to lock that layer, make sure no paint lands on that. And also it's also good while I'm painting like details for the gums, all that roughness. I want to see where the teeth are actually pushing in, so I can make like all that detail of it, like blood is like caught in those edges and stuff. And I can see the OBJ there, but I don't have to worry about paint accidentally landing on it. Well, other than that, that was a simple workflow. They just paint on. As you can see, I learned the program, and I was able to just go through the whole program and just looked at the UI, and I was confident enough the next day of work. I basically took a whole day to just look at the manual, play around with it. I was giving liberty to just play around at work, and then the next day I was already working. I had a huge crowd behind me. They were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to work." So yeah, that was it. Thank you.